Crypto Kids, welcome back to another video. I have some great news for you, so stick around until the end. On the immediate short term, Bitcoin has formed a double bottom-ish pattern. I was talking about this in the Moon Show just a couple of hours ago, and we mentioned that if Bitcoin was able to surpass the $66,700 level of resistance with bullish volume and confirmation, then Bitcoin could be heading towards 68.5K. Now that's what's been happening on the market so far, but today I do not want to focus a lot on the shorter term timeframes. There's not too much analysis to be conducted. Rather, I want to be focusing on this macro time frame, the daily chart for Bitcoin, because the pennant that we're seeing is about to get confirmed. The double top scenario that we discussed on previous videos, if this candle, today's candle, closes in the positive, it will pretty much be invalidated. And to me, the bullish scenario will be much more likely compared to the bear case. And I just had an interview with James Seyfarth, one of the Bloomberg brothers that we've been referring to all this time. And he's shared so much analysis and so much of his knowledge with us. And he's been right for basically the entire time. He mentioned a couple of very juicy things, especially looking at Ethereum. And I'll be talking about those two on today's update video. But before I jump into any of that, a like on this video would be very much appreciated. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to be alerted as soon as I post this video tomorrow, because some of the information could even move markets. And yeah, with that said, let's get straight into it. I talked about the shorter term time frame for Bitcoin. I don't want to get into too much detail, but what we can briefly mention is that the CME gap for Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame has not yet been closed, but that's all right. It's okay. I talked about this just a few hours ago on the Telegram community. I've posted a full in-depth research about what I think is happening on the market. And if you're interested in reading these and getting access to these for free, you can join the Telegram community using the link in the description below. But in short, what I mentioned here is us not closing the CME gap on the 4-hourly time frame is okay, because we did in fact close it on the daily time frame. And remember, the analysis that we conduct on higher time frames is more important than the analysis we conduct on shorter term time frames. And to me, us not closing the CME gap on the 4-hour is actually okay. It's not too big of a deal. But what's more important, like I said, is that if today's candle closes in the positive, then the double top scenario will be completely invalidated, and the bull case scenario will have a much higher probability of playing towards the upside. But where would I be opening a position for Bitcoin? So as you guys know, we've been in a long position for Bitcoin ever since the break of $43,000. We've mentioned that Bitcoin will likely have a $6,000 drop over here. But now the issue is it time to open a long position? Like I've mentioned on Telegram, I'm going to be waiting for the breakout on this pennant because I'm already in a long position. So I will be adding margin. So I will be adding capital to this position that I already have. But if you're looking to open a brand new long position for Bitcoin, then potentially now could even be a time of entering. But personally, I'm not looking on including so much leverage because it will probably be more of a position trade going into the macro as we have the halving coming up, and as the ETFs are now bullish due to a specific factor. I think a macro position trade could be an option, an alternative. Of course, nothing on this video is financial advice, just my personal opinions and TA only. So please come to your own conclusions with your trading and technical analysis. But in terms of a take profit, my take profit would be initially 90K, but we can change that depending on how the market is moving. So why am I so bullish? The reason why I am so bullish is because of the ETFs. If we jump into the Telegram community, I mentioned that the ETFs have been reporting pretty good data, and this can change the entirety of how the market is currently moving. So if you notice, on the 3rd of April, Bitcoin reported $113.5 million of net inflows into the ETFs. Why is this significant? Well, because on Tuesday, we experienced that huge drop towards the downside, and it would have made sense that, yesterday night, we experienced significant outflows on the ETFs because That's what has been happening over the course of the past few months since the launch of the 10 or the 9 actually. Now it's increased to 10 thanks to hashtags. But the crazy thing is that GBTC reported net outflows of only 2 digits. So double digits on a huge price decrease towards the downside from Bitcoin. GBTC only reported $75.1 million of outflows, and the day before, only $81.9 million. So what am I getting at? Well, I'm getting to the fact that, according to James Seyfarth himself, by the way, he mentioned that this week, a lot of the huge institutions that held GBTC shares, they're most likely completely liquidated. And from today onwards, we will probably be only seeing double digits of outflows from Grayscale. And this would impact the market incredibly positively, because even though that IBIT experienced $42 million of inflows to its ETF, the other ETFs were able to compensate GBTC's loss and still report $113 million. Ladies and gentlemen, this will make us escape from that terrible loop that we were stuck in with the price action. As you remember, whenever the market topped out on the futures data, we would reverse towards the downside, and 1 or 2 days after, the ETFs would report crazy outflows, and that would cause a panic in the market, and we would drop further towards the downside. This is practically now over, and after the Bitcoin halving, which you can track using cryptokit.com/halving countdown, we will have the total new Bitcoin supply entering to the circulation decrease by, well, a half, right? And at that point, the amount of new Bitcoin entering and the amount of demand that we're seeing from the Bitcoin ETFs will change. And this change will be to the bullish scenario, as there'll be less Bitcoin needing to be scooped up from the market to keep the price at an elevated level. I hope that was an informative video. I didn't want to dive into too many different topics here, but in the immediate short term, I think Bitcoin will struggle at $69,000. But if we are able to surpass 69, and if we're able to surpass 71.2, then a retest to the prior all-time highs is definitely possible from where I'm standing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll be seeing you all on the next update video shortly. Take care, guys, and bye-bye.